I'm the acoustics aren't the best in here, but it's because I'm in an Indonesian bathroom. Now, I just want to show you what you expect in a authentic Indonesian bathroom. There's the bathroom, or there's the toilet. That's the flushing mechanism, and that's a rather dirty but active bowl. Now, to flush the toilet, you do that. This is not the easiest way to the subject to talk about. I'm going to open the door because the reverberations might be a little bit better. So listen, I want to tell you something about something you probably don't understand. There's a custom over here that you never eat or shake or give something with your left hand. And that's because if you look around the bathroom, there's something missing that you're used to, and that is TP, the old toilet paper. Now, they don't use toilet paper here, and that's because the drain system often won't handle toilet paper and it'll block up really quickly. It's used for human waste only, and in order to flush it, I'm using this bad boy here. So, you flush the toilet with the ladle, you fill the ladle up in the bucket. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory, but there's something we haven't sort of covered yet, and that is this. In order to, number two, you've got to use these. Okay, because there's something you got to understand. If you, okay, so you wipe with your fingers, and then you got smelly fingers. So to clean your hand, you don't go, because that's water that in a lot of houses you'll use that same water to shower in. And these buckets, these little ladles, you use them to shower with. So you never want to contaminate these buckets. All right, you can top it over here. But, so you don't go, you sort of go, now I'm going to try and do this with the camera, I really can't. You tip, let's see if I can try this. You tip the water on your fingers and you clean your hand. But it's generally accepted that your hand is a little bit, a little bit potentially dirty. You can do it 3 or 4 times, doesn't matter. But you know, look, something else you don't see around here. Soap. You don't eat with your left hand because everything starts tasting like shit. And I mean that in a literal and a figurative sense. You don't eat with your left hand, you don't pass something, you don't hand something, you don't shake with your left hand. But there's something that you do with your left hand automatically that makes me concerned and sort of possibly answers why so many people from the West come to Bali and get Bali belly. What do you do with your left hand all the time? You count money. $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6. You use both hands when you're counting money. So, where do you think you pick up Bali belly from? Is it the door handle that I'm just going to close the door with? The left hand? Is it the handrail that I climb up the stairs with on my left hand? Is it the money that I pay for my hot dog or my hamburger or my nasi goreng with? Or is it potentially all of the above. Guys, I don't want to gross you out. I don't want to turn you off coming to Bali. I am saying, my little shoulder bag here, I've got wet wipes in it and sanitizer. And the only 2 times I've had what you would consider a version of Bali belly, which wasn't really that uncomfortable, but it was uncomfortable, was when I went to a fast food restaurant and had a McBurger or a muffin for breakfast, and I didn't wash it down with a beer. Now, I don't know if the beer had anything to do with it. Someone said maybe that's cleaning your tummy on the way through. But wash your hands. Handing over money, wash your hands. Especially, one of the most contaminated things you'll find is doorknobs and whatever. But money passes from person to person to person, and people traditionally throughout most of Asia, India, China, Bali, Indonesia, whatever, use the left hand to go to the toilet. If you don't realise that, you want to make sure you've got some wet wipes, you want to make sure you've got some sanitizer, and just be careful. Love your work. Sorry to disappoint you guys. It's a little bit, but it's how the other half live. I didn't realise it until I got here. And it's a hard conversation to bring up. There's another quick thing. Hey, I'll go back inside. There's one thing I didn't realise, and I wonder if these guys got it. Now see this? When I do a number 2, I pull my strides down to my knees and I sit on the toilet. Now, you can't sit on that. You just stand on either side. Here we go. And squat. Right, that's as much instruction as you're going to get, but if you do that with pants around your knees, you're going to end up going to the toilet, number 2s, in your pants. You need to take your pants and your undies off to do a number 2. So, you know what my recommendation is? Number 1, we do a number 2s, go to the toilet at the hotel, or follow my recommendations, because nearly every single hotel or restaurant I've ever vlogged about, one of the things I do is to check to see if they've got a sit down flushing toilet with toilet paper. Number 2, if you do get caught out, you can go to an Indomart, Circle K, Alphamart, any of the little mini supermarkets. Nearly all of them have got toilets. Not the service stations, but the Indomarts and the Alphamarts and the Circle K. So you can always get a public toilet there, generally, and then nearly always like that. So you'll need some tissue or something. Now, by the way, if you put your own tissue paper down there, there's a really good chance you're going to block it up. I tried with a 2 tissue sheet minimum, and we ended up with some caustic soda and had to clean the toilet out because it just wouldn't work. But remember, you can't go to the toilet with your strides around your ankles, because you can't get into the right position without pooing on your pants, and you're going to walk out generally with wet feet, because they use all this area is generally considered a wet area, and if they make a mess, they generally just flush it down like that, right? So don't be surprised if the floor's wet. It's water. They're using it to clean the place. It's not necessarily a guarantee the first time you try to aim for that, you're not going to get somewhere else, because especially if you've got a bit of Bali belly, because you might be in more of a hurry than you are ready to aim and shoot. It's a hard topic. But so many people have asked me what the hell is to go with the bucket, with the big tub, and with this bloody. So guys, you've got to stop and think about it. You can't use both hands, because then they've both got poo. There's no soap. You've only got a bucket. You can't use a bucket to wash. You can't use an air to wash. So you sort of got to tip it on your hands, rinse your hands out, do it 2 or 3 times. Hope that you've got all the rest of the stuff that you were doing down there. Put your pants back on, hang them up on the hook so they don't get wet on the floor, put them back on, run out the door. And by the way, one thing you probably didn't realise, if you've just used fresh water to clean your bum, you're going to have a wet bum. That's normal here in Bali. Luckily, your bum's going to dry really quick because it's 30 degrees outside and hot. So everyone that walks out of this sort of toilet that's done a number 2 is used to having a wet bum and doing a bit of drip drying. Hey, it's different. It's not what you're used to. It's what they do, and I hope I haven't offended too many people. If I have, I'm sorry, but I thought you'd need to know. It's a pretty important thing if you get caught out here in a toilet in Bali. Love your work. See you when we do another number 3. See you guys.